So as we know, Boruto chapter 66 ended with Kawaki seemingly killing Boruto, and this has caused a outpouring of theories to be flooded into the Boruto sphere as to what will happen to Boruto going forward. And one such theory is that Boruto is going to implant his karma on Code so that he can resurrect within him. And though this might seem like a brilliant plan, it actually isn't. It's not a good plan.
Not a great plan.
If we even just take a second to kind of look into the plan itself, and based on what we understand about the Otsutskis and the karmification process, this plan wouldn't make any sense at all, and it's completely based on chance. So we're gonna get into this theory, we're gonna dissect it, I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't make sense. If you want to agree, that's fine, but I'm just gonna lay it out there and you guys can tell me what you think about it. So let's get into it. So the theory itself isn't completely baseless. Someone didn't just pull this theory out of their ass and just throw it out there on the internet, right? This theory was taken directly from Boruto's manga, so you guys can understand my problems with this in the first place. The fact that this is mentioned as an option, as a legitimate option by the writers of Boruto is completely baffling, but we're gonna get into it. This option, this choice was first introduced by Kawaki in Boruto chapter 56 when Code was first introduced. So Kawaki said, why not prepare your own vessel by giving someone else a karma? Mind you, this is only an hypothesis that I just came up with. But if Momoshiki resurrects and you end up disappearing, if you had your own vessel somewhere, maybe you could also use it to reincarnate. Boruto then replied saying, if I'm gonna give karma and make a vessel, that means I have to sacrifice someone else, right? Which caused him to then completely shut down Kawaki's proposal. Kawaki then replied saying, I've got somebody in mind already, someone who would be perfect. His name is Code, the only other guy to have survived Jigen's ritual. And by Jigen's ritual is referring to the test screening Jigen did with a model to screen for kids that are compatible with the karma or who is able to become a vessel. Code and Kawaki are the only ones who survived, even though Code wasn't eligible to be a vessel. He wasn't compatible, even though he was compatible with the karma itself, which is why Code has the power of the karma, but he couldn't become Ishiki's vessel. So this brings me to my first point. How is Boruto going to give Code a karma if Code is not compatible to be an Otsutsuki vessel, even though Code can receive the karma itself, which could be linked back to his Uzumaki genes, but that doesn't really say anything because Boruto is an Uzumaki and Boruto was able to become a full Otsutsuki vessel. And if you're gonna say that Code is an Uzumaki because he has red hair, that means that Code is a full Uzumaki, unlike Boruto, which his blood has been diluted countless times. So this means that Code should have been more of a suitable vessel than Boruto if it's that you being an Uzumaki makes you a suitable vessel, so obviously that's not the case. But even if you go back to the panels themselves in chapter 56 of Boruto, when Kawaki was describing Code's situation, he said that, but it failed. Just like the other kids died, his body started to shake and spasm. He wasn't able to become a vessel. For whatever reason, he didn't die. He survived just like me. He was compatible with karma. So he was compatible with the karma seal itself, and he's able to use the powers of karma, but he cannot become an Otsutsuki vessel. That's what was stated. So the only logical conclusion that we can draw is that Code cannot become an Otsutsuki vessel. And you guys might be saying, right, Boruto isn't an Otsutsuki, he's a human being, so maybe Boruto can resurrect within Code. That's not the case because as we know, 80%, not 30%, not 20%, not 5%, 80% of Boruto's DNA has been overwritten to be that of an Otsutsuki. So Boruto is way past that stage about being just a human. He's an Otsutsuki at this point. And you could also say that he's probably 85 right now because back when he was fighting Ishiki, he was 80%, and I think it has been about 6 months probably since that happened. So Boruto is about 85%, maybe 90% at this point. So let's just say Boruto is at 80% because that's the last figure that was stated, right? We should still be able to assume that Code wouldn't be able to handle being Boruto's vessel, right? Because Boruto is 80% Otsutsukified. Another point that Amado brought up against using this method is that Code already has a karma. So how are you going to give him a karma if he already has one? Now I would understand like transferring your soul into him, but the fact that he already has a karma should mean that you can't give him another one, because two Otsutsuki DNA can't exist in one body. Now you could technically say that Code doesn't have Ishiki's DNA, but he's still drawing on Ishiki's essence itself, right? So it doesn't make sense for Boruto to be able to put another karma which is mixed in with Momoshiki's DNA on Code, and that just works, you know, it doesn't make sense. Now they could just say that it will work, and you know, they can say whatever they want and we just have to accept it, right? But then we have another issue. Code will just utilize Boruto's power against everyone. Now, I think a lot of people forget this, but when you input a karma or implant a karma on someone, you don't just overwrite their body and resurrect within them. That's not gonna happen. It took Boruto, what, over a year to do that? When he was actually in resonance with another karma, which is Kawaki, right? It took over a year for him to reach that point. And Kawaki has his karma since he was like a kid. It's been multiple years since Kawaki had his karma, right? And he was suppressed by the pills that Amado was giving him. But we also know that without the suppression, Boruto took over a year for that to be completed, and it hasn't even finished as yet, so we can't even say that the process has completed or that it will take a year. So thinking that Boruto is just gonna give Code his karma and then just resurrect and Boruto is back is nonsense. And then we have to factor in the fact that if he's going to put his karma on Code, then Code will now have access to Boruto's power, similar to how Boruto has access to Momoshiki's power and is able to amplify his power and fight people that he shouldn't be able to fight. Code is going to be able to do the same thing. So then he's going to give Code a weapon to basically use to hurt the people he loves. That's nonsense, right? Because that's what's going to happen before Boruto even gets to resurrect within Code. And the only way that doesn't happen is if they somehow tie down Code or seal him somewhere where he's not able to like do anything. That's the only way I see this even working. But if he's just going to give Code the karma, Code is just going to use it. And he can't give Code the karma without Code knowing. Just like how Kawaki knew because he had the mark in his hand, Boruto knew because he had the mark in his hand. They're gonna awaken the power. It's similar to Code. Code is gonna know that he has a damn karma, you know, and he's gonna use it. So this plan makes no sense, and that's just another point. We have one more. Let's just say we assume that Boruto does give Code the karma, right? And Code is just gonna use the power to ransack the entire Leaf Village. He's gonna kill everyone and do whatever he wants to do with Boruto's karma, right? Let's just say he does do that, but the end goal is that Boruto is gonna resurrect anyway, so Boruto will come back in Code, and that's gonna lead to the time skip timeline we saw in Boruto, right? Boruto standing on the mountain with the leaf destroyed. So that's Code, that's Boruto just resurrecting within Code. Let me just say this. That is complete nonsense. That's complete nonsense. Firstly, Code is a villain. Code is not just gonna let Boruto resurrect within his body. That's not how that works. You get me? Code is not just gonna stand around and allow Boruto to resurrect, whether it takes a year, 2 years, 6 months, 2 months. Code is not just gonna allow Boruto to come back to life if he's the villain. It makes no logical sense. Code will just kill himself before Boruto reaches 100% Otsutsufication, or he reaches 100% Otsutsufication, right? And that means that Boruto will just die. Boruto will not resurrect within Code. Similar to how if you kill Boruto, Momoshiki will not resurrect. You have to reach 100% Otsutsufication before the Otsutsuki within you can resurrect within your body. So all Code will do is just keep Boruto along, tag along with Boruto, use his power, and when he sees that he's at like a 95% or 98%, he just kills himself. Right? Boruto doesn't come back, and Code gets to use Boruto's power to kill everyone. That's what's gonna happen. That's how flawed this plan is, right? This plan is based off chance and chance alone and complete nonsense. So we have one more point I want to bring across here. I was really like thinking about it, about the Otsutsuki DNA and all that jazz, and I had this idea, right? Boruto's DNA is 80% Momoshiki's DNA at this point. So the Boruto who resurrects within Code may be completely different, maybe a completely different person than the Boruto who died. Because it will be like a merger between Boruto and Momoshiki, similar to how Momoshiki and Kinshiki merged in the end of the battle for Konoha, or whatever you want to call that shit, right? So that's what I think is gonna happen. Like, if Boruto does do that, like, input his karma on code right now with Momoshiki still being alive, then his consciousness or his essence, his DNA, everything is going to be transferred over to code, and it's going to be molded into one being, similar to how when Momoshiki consumed Kinshiki and they molded into one being, right? That's what I think is going to happen. So it might be a case where the stronger consciousness wins and gets control of the body. So similar to how you have the Gito and Gogeta in Dragon Ball Z, and then both Goku would control one version and Vegeta would control one version. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Like if that does happen, like they're going to merge together, because like killing Momoshiki and then code, like Boruto put in the karma on code, is literally just transferring Momoshiki's essence into code along with Boruto's essence. That's literally what's happening there, you know? So I don't see how that favors Boruto in any way. And after all these points I've laid out, guys, do you guys really think that Boruto giving code his karma is a logical option? I laid out all my points, all my thoughts. I want you guys to, if you guys disagree, don't just say you disagree, right? Address my points point by point and tell me why you disagree. Tell me why what I just said made no sense whatsoever, because I'm sure I'm gonna get those comments. Like, bro, I make theories and I post the theories themselves, and you have people commenting before they even watch the video, and they're like, oh, this makes no sense. And then when I click on the comment to reply, it's gone because they deleted the comment because they watched the damn video. I'm like, bro, if you're gonna comment, just watch the video, fam. You know, get the information. So I'm just saying, like, watch the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. If you like the video, drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. And remember to hit that notification bell to be notified when I post new content. We have a lot of theories. I have the theory on how Boruto is actually gonna be revived. I have two theories on that actually. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna spoil it right now. I'm gonna tell you that it's two, and it has something to do with Naruto, and the other one has something to do with Boruto. So yeah, we're gonna get into that shit. But yeah, if you like the video, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.